Hello everybody, welcome to Fast Forward EV. It is early April of 2024 and today we're going to betray an old friend. Okay, maybe that's a little melodramatic. What we're doing is we're driving in the old Bolt that we bought back off from a dealer off of the lease that we had on it previously. It's a 2020 Bolt. And I'm driving to another dealer with it today. And if things go to plan, I'll be trading it in on a different EV. Again with the noise. I'm so good at picking when to record. So I'm going to leave it a secret for now, the EV I'm thinking of trading in. Let's see if the deal goes through. And if it does, all will be revealed. And if not, nobody will ever see this video. Anyway, it's a beautiful spring day, clear blue skies. Should be at the dealership pretty soon. We'll find out if this all works. Oh, hello, Mr. Guy. There it is. This is a well-used Model 3. But it's not old. 21,000 miles on it already. Got the Ryzen. It's got the heat pump. It's got max charging capable. Okay. All right, let's check this thing out. Does have the double pane glass. As is no warranty. What kind of tires we got on here? Iron Man shit. Tread's good. Moving around in here. Close is fine. Well, it's time once again to say goodbye to the old orange Bolt. We had, then we lost, then we had again, now we're losing again. But we're trading it in on something else, something a bit different. Bye again, old gal. You've still been good. I'm sure you'll be good for the next owner. Tesla. Still under previous owner's login, which I can't fix till I get home and send paperwork to Tesla. So here I am, driving back home after trading in the 2020 Bolt for this, a 2022 Model 3 dual motor long range. How did that happen? Well, kind of the same way the Bolt happened. Did a search on cars.com and came across an incredible deal. As most people probably have heard, Hertz Rental Car and maybe some other rental places bought a lot of Teslas a couple years ago for their rental fleets, and Hertz in particular has decided that they aren't worth it, and they dumped them on the market at below market prices. Now, a lot of these have been used a lot. This one is no exception. It has 121,000 miles on the clock already, and it's a 2022 model. This car is not 2 years old yet, or it's just barely 2 years old. Sorry about the truck noise. And price-wise, it was basically $5,000 more than the Bolt had been, and the Bolt still had all of its residual value because we got it at a great deal. So I was able to trade it in and trade up to this for that delta. And the Bolt was a great car, very solid, still had 3 years left on its warranty. Battery's in great shape, there's not a scratch on it. Whoever gets that car is going to get a great deal on a Bolt because it was well taken care of and is in great shape, and they're going to get a great price on it. But what I'm in now is a spaceship in comparison. This particular model I feel is kind of a unicorn. It's 2022 model, which means it has the heat pump and it has the hardware 3 with the Ryzen chip in it. So it's got the faster processor for the infotainment. It is the model before they eliminated the parking sensors. So it's got front and rear parking sensors. Whether the software uses those or not is another question, but they're there. And it's the version before they took the stalks away. So I think this sits in a perfect sweet spot for not having the things taken away that people miss and having the things that people want. In particular, me. And what do I want? I want a car that is red. And this is red. They had approximately 20 of these Teslas on their lot. They're all white or gray or black. The only red one they had was this one. The only 2022 model they had was this one. I looked everywhere else in Ohio. Nobody else had this. I'm like, I have found a unicorn and I'm going to go buy it. And so I have. So yeah, it's been about a month now. And trying to get caught up with putting out some stuff about this car. As I explained in the pickup video, this replaced the 2020 orange Chevy Bolt that we had got just a handful of months prior. And it was just a crazy happenstance, again, just like the Bolt was. And not only that, I picked a weird time, a busy time to get into a Tesla, with Elon turning his attention back to Tesla weeks after I got it, and then trashing the place. And then simultaneously, this week, we got a big update to full self-driving and the big spring update to the car software. So it's been a busy time. So what do I think after a month? Well, I think most the same things I thought after I had drove one of these at the dealership about a year ago, that it is a toy. And that is still true, although I'll amend that by saying it's a toy that I certainly don't mind spending time in. The ride comfort is nowhere near what it is even in a Bolt, let alone an ID4. And the cabin space for the driver is a little constrained compared to the ID4. Certainly better than the Bolt, but not by much. The road you feel the road right there, 4 inches under your butt. And it feels like the kind of car you get to have fun in and take out on the weekends, and to be a little showy, and have a little fun, like a small British sports car of the 70s or something. But it's obviously entirely more livable than that. And I think the thing I would most compare it to, in my experience, is the late 80s, early 90s Honda Civics that I had. Those were my first two new cars. I think it was an 87 Civic hatchback base model, and then a 93 Civic hatchback base model that I got after my 87 got totaled by a drunk driver in a wreck. And those cars, I love those cars. They're a lot of fun to drive. Just hop in. They were 5-speed transmissions. Engine was not powerful, but it was very willing, and you could have a lot of fun in that car and toss it about. But they weren't refined, and they weren't super comfy. After a 400-mile trip, you were ready to stop. And I think the Model 3 is kind of the same. I've taken it on a journey that was about 300 miles, I think, for the day. And yeah, when I was done with that, I was ready to not be driving anymore, which is not true in an ID4, just from a road comfort standpoint. But from all other standpoints, the way the drivetrain responds, the way the steering responds, the smoothness of the acceleration and deceleration, the one pedal driving, of course, all the software stuff is just beyond compare in the EV world. And I'm very happy with that. So I spend a lot of time in this car right now. With it having over 122,000 miles on it, it's the car I jump in to do miles that are frivolous, because why put all those miles on my ID4 when it's still depreciating at a rather rapid rate, and this thing has depreciated probably as far as it's gonna. So I might as well use it, and I'm gonna. I would love to see this thing at 200,000 miles. I expect to see it running just fine at 250,000 miles. Beyond that, I don't know. But from what I can see right now, it's going to be fine. 122,000 miles, you would think, would be the end of an EV if you listen to stories you read online. And I think it's just the beginning for this car. The battery health test rates it at 80%, which I'm not surprised by. I've seen people doing tests after 1 year who only have 30,000 miles on the car, which is a lot for 1 year, and they've lost 10%. But I think it trickles off. And the range test I've done so far on this car is exactly the same results as Tom Malogny's most recent test of the long-range Highland version of the Model 3, which is the nearest equivalent. So I don't feel I'm missing out on anything. I think I have a unicorn, and I think I have an interesting talking piece that I don't have to put the 122,000 miles on it myself. They're already on there, and I can tell people that this car, 2 years old, has 122,000 miles on it. Now it has 124 right now. So we'll keep going. So I've had to do a lot of things to this car since I picked it up. It was a rental car. It was not treated all that kindly, although you can't tell that from the paint and the wheels. They look great. There was a trim piece missing from the mirror, the passenger side mirror, and some things like that. There was a front license plate bracket that needed to go away. The rear license plate bracket was rusted, and some other things, an alignment, panel gap on the rear trunk lid. Sorry about the wind. And I've done all those things, and I've cleaned it up and had the interior detailed. And it's just my daily driver right now. And so I'm going to be putting up videos that show all the stuff that's happened to it in the month since I got it. I think to wrap this up, it's fair to say that this is an experiment, and it's not without risk, but I think I've got a good one, a good car. And I certainly got it at a good price. And I'm glad it happened, and it's going to be interesting to be to participate in the experiment of Tesla, and we'll see where it goes. Thanks.
Grid 5 standing by.